Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019. I am super grateful. It's Gratitude Tuesday, so make sure you say thank you to whomever you need to say thank you to. Say it out loud. I'm super excited to have my friends. We have lots to talk about. And we'll go this way. I've got George Freelove. I've got Ernie Plaza in the back, and I've got Kevin Strawter here. We're very excited to be talking about VAREP and the significance of the number 22 and the events coming up and the 4th of July. So let us know you can hear us and see us. I got 3 other dudes plus me on the show, and this is super important. So we want a heart. Hey Vicky, hey Timmy, what's up guys? Stacy's on, so my wife's on. So we got the thumbs up and the heart. That means they can hear us and they can certainly see us. So here we go. All right, welcome guys. So VA reps, big to my heart. Veterans, you know we promote veterans on here and veteran services and anything we can do to help vets on the TED Show a lot. And so these guys are kind enough, or maybe, I don't know whether they might regret it later, but they're kind enough to all come together on the show today and talk about VA rep and so much more. Welcome. All right, so we're going to start all the way to my left, I have to think about this, with Kevin Strawter. So they want to know origin story, Kevin. They want to know a little bit about you. Of course, they want to know how you got here, why VA rep's important. And so welcome to the show, my friend.
Yes, thank you, Ted. Good morning, Facebook family. Hey, listen, I arrived here in 2009. I had a promotion from Eglin Air Force Base coming down here, and I had the opportunity to be working with the space shuttle, scheduling space shuttle and missiles into space. 2009 through 2011, I retired. I've learned a lot. Cape Canaveral, when they say 11:42 liftoff, they mean 11:42 liftoff. So I've served 30 years in the Air Force, and currently right now I was giving the word about VA Rep, and I was introduced to the organization, and this is the best next thing to sliced bread when it comes to getting out of the military. The camaraderie is here, we're all unified, and we're all working for veterans and advocates for the veterans so that the community knows what's out there, and we're here to serve you.
The camaraderie is so important, right? Before we get to Ernie. Ernie's next, right? The camaraderie is so important because when you transition out of military life into civilian life, that's where a lot of things go awry. That's where you're missing that I'd sacrifice my life for you kind of bond that you have. And so to come out and know the real world where it's a lot of people are, I don't know, cutthroat, it's kind of a crazy place to be, and to not have that protection, that's where I think a lot of vets have a difficult time. So I love that VA Rep has that camaraderie. I love that you brought that up. I think it's awesome. All right, Ernie, you're next. Tell us about you, Ernie.
Thank you for having us
I'm
today.
Blessed to have you on here.
We appreciate you very much. My name is Ernie Plaza. I'm originally from New Jersey. Been here 21 years, roughly. Most of the time in Kissimmee. My background has been manufacturing, law enforcement, and military. I'm still in the active reserve, year 21, and I think this year will be the final year where I retire.
You're 21?
Yes.
It's amazing.
And there's been people that I know 30 years, continuing service. So thank you for their service to all our veterans. Again, thanks for having us here. VA Rep's a very important group to me. Like Kevin said, it's just the bonding, the teamwork. Everybody's on the same mindset of getting the goal and the task done. Doesn't matter what branch you are, we're all the same. We're all VA Rep, and we get stuff done for the veterans. So thanks.
I love it. All right, so Patricia Cintron, whom we love, says, love George Freelove, and then she remembered she loves Ted Bogert too. So I love you. I love you too, Patricia.
Well, thank you, Patricia.
All right, that leads into you, George Freelove. Tell us about you.
All right, well, I moved to Orlando a long time ago, 1976, and I was a home builder for 40 years. Worked for local companies, and then after one of the recessions, moved around the country. Ended up back here in Orlando about 10 years ago, and joined Keller Williams as a real estate agent, and really became involved in helping veterans. An associate said they were starting this new organization called VAREP, which is Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, VAREP. And the kind of goal was to help educate realtors on using VA loans, which is a lot of things in that we're working with in Congress to do. And the other side of that was to help veterans understand that they can use their veteran benefits with a no down payment scenario, and how to get a home. It was interesting, you mentioned earlier about the young people transitioning out. One of the hard things is that when they're in the military, they're told when to get up, when to go to bed, what to do, when to eat, and then all of a sudden they become quasi-free. And what do they then do? And a lot of them have a hard time transitioning and learning how to adjust to civilian life. So our organization really works hard to number one, educate real estate agents in working with buyers and sellers in using their VA loans, and then helping veterans themselves understand how to purchase a home and how to keep it.
I love it. All right, so let me ask you something before we move to VA Rep. Let's talk a little bit about VA loans. Why? You three are real estate professionals. Somebody used the word professional with me earlier and I giggled a little bit. All right, so you're real estate professionals. Why is it that realtors don't like to accept the offer from VA loan? Because what happens is, let's say you have a choice between a quote unquote traditional loan and a VA loan. A lot of times out there, they'll choose the traditional over the VA loan because they have this weird preconceived notion that VA loans are tougher. It's harder to get done. It's more cumbersome, and so it's easier for them to choose traditional. I've seen vets passed over time and time again with great references, great credit scores, great pre-approval, and yet the realtors don't seem like they're educated on your end. So can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I think you're really right, and that's one of the things that we do is the education side. It's educating the realtors that a VA loan is not harder, that the appraisals are not harder, that they don't. In olden days, there were some non-allowables that the seller had to pay, and the real estate agent said, why should you have to give up any money just to sell to a veteran? And those are all preconceived ideas that what our group does through our Lunch and Learn programs, which we'll talk about a little later, really educates that real estate agent that a VA loan is equally or if not better than other loans, and quite honestly easier. I mean,
I think it's so much easier.
It's education of that real estate industry.
All right, so let's talk about VA Rep, Veteran Association of Real Estate Professionals, which is a big national organization. You just had a big conference in Washington, D.C. So this is a big group. Let's talk a teeny bit about why, I think somebody, maybe it was Ernie, or no, it might have been George, talked about why it was important to get involved. The camaraderie part, I apologize. And so talk about what VA Rep actually does. What is the function of VA Rep?
Ernie?
Well, the function of VA Rep nationally is we have a whole bunch of programs where we educate the veterans on financials. We educate them on how to get ready. Like George said, when they first come out of the military, they don't know what to do because, being an ex-drill sergeant, we give orders and we tell them what to do.
You were a drill sergeant?
Yeah, yes, I was.
Wow.
And so we have a schedule we follow, which the soldiers follow. And when you go into your regular unit, it's the same way. You have a schedule and you're told what to do. So when you come out, you get all this money. When you, let's say you go overseas and you serve there, or you just got out and you get a bonus, and they don't know what to do with the money. So VA Rep has programs where we educate them on how to manage their money. If they do qualify, they could even possibly get a free home. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And they get them where they understand what it is to actually use your money. I feel like in school they should teach us in school already, but
right.
It's just a program where everybody gets the education, the guidance, and that's just financial. They do a lot more nationally. Locally, like George said, on our end, we actually go ahead and educate other realtors on the myths, on the we bring them up-to-date facts. And we get all that from the National Policy Conference. We actually had the Department of Veterans Affairs, the director over there, sitting in front of all of us, asking us, what are the problems that the veterans have out there in the world when it comes to real estate?
Nice.
Like we had the director there, we had the appraiser there, all these people that make decisions, they're asking us for our feedback. So that's what we do over there.
Well, one of the things that's important is that there's a very small minority of veterans that actually ever use their benefits. Of all the veterans that are out there, I believe it's less than 10 or 15% of the veterans that qualify to get a VA loan with no down payment that actually use it, because they're either unaware or uneducated or are basically, I hate to use the word steered, but they're kind of led in a different direction so that they don't use it. They do an FHA or a conventional.
Correct. And I think that's so important. And I think what happens is they're out there. All of that is untapped resource. In my opinion, as a civilian, I wish we would give our veterans a lot more than we give them. And this is a benefit that they can actually utilize to improve their lives, to get out of the rent scenario, to have no down payment. There's so many good things about that particular VA benefit that it makes me sad, because it's not like there's a big exit interview when you're gone, right? So you get out of the service, and then they're not really telling you all the things that you need to know when you get out there, like, okay, thank you, soldier, see you later. And so we don't do a great job, and that's why VA Rep is so important, and educating not only the consumer, but the realtors.
Right, one other thing, Ted, too, also, is that the debt to income ratio is a bit higher than the norm. So that veterans can qualify. They're really looking for the income. The income is there, credit score is not a major problem versus the other conventional loans going down. From our last conference, I believe, George, isn't this the month that the block's supposed to be put on in lenders' applications for veterans?
Yes, actually there's a form called a 1003, I believe it is.
I've heard about it.
You know, where there's a column for to compare an FHA to a conventional loan. Our VREP organization, through our legislative affairs, have instituted, and I believe the president signed it not too long ago, that is now required. It was supposed to go into effect July 1st, but like all governmental regulations, they got to do all the paperwork, and it's been kind of pushed out for a couple of months. But there will now be a third column, so the lender will have to compare and actually ask FHA, VA, and conventional.
I love that.
Let me
Go
add
ahead,
something
please,
real
Ernie.
quick. And that's what we do in our Washington policy conference. We actually go out there and we go knock on the doors of the senators, congressmen, all these people, say, hey, this is what we have. And this year, when me and George went and we talked to our representatives, we love the fact they actually knew who VA Rep was and what bill we helped push through. So this is what we do nationally, and it's not a group where you try to get leads. No, this is about serving, selfless service to our veterans to make a difference. One of the reasons why I joined VA Rep was because I bought a house myself in 2011, and I've been out of the reserve for a couple years, 6 years, and I forgot about my COE, okay, my benefit. And this is what happens to a lot of veterans out there. You forget, or let's say the old school veterans like myself, that we don't ask for our benefits. Not like the younger generations that they've been taught over and over, make sure you ask, you ask. So people like myself, I didn't know, or let's say I forgot about my VA loan. And when I went to get the mortgage, I saw FHA, conventional, even USDA, and that's what the lender talked me into it, because it was the best deal. But he never asked me if I was a veteran, which would have triggered, hey, that thing that I filed away, like Joe Sarn said, file it away and put it in your cabinet, I forgot all about it. And that's why I joined VA Rep when George approached me about it, because it holds dear to me, because a lot of people missed the opportunity to use their benefits, but also because nationally we make big changes. And we're going to discuss that when we talk about our conference coming up. So.
All right, so let's talk about some of the events coming up. Let's talk about what VA Rep, we talked about national, so let's talk about what VA Rep is doing locally, because these guys are the faces, they're pretty faces, right? These are the faces of VA Rep local, the Central Florida Chapter. Now you're laughing, okay, you got it. All right, so talk a little bit about what's coming up. what can people do to get involved, and what events can they go to see and participate in?
Absolutely. Good thing, Ted. Our next event is July 18th. It's going to be at Shell Insurance Group in Altamont Springs. We're going to be talking about VA loans. So feel free to come on out. You can be able to contact us by through varep.net. You can catch us there. You can click on the charter, click on Orlando, and you'll see us all there, and our information is there. Daniel White will be discussing VA loans, the ins and outs of VA loans. And VA loans is a popular, very popular loan for all veterans, and I highly encourage that too, because your interest rates will be that much tad bit lower, and basically it's no money down, so it's a free way in, no private mortgage insurance. It's the way to go, so take advantage of your VA benefit. We suggest you have a realtor that specializes in VA loans too, so that we can help you through with the actual lender.
Well, and that's what we were talking about earlier. It's just the education part. So you may think you know about VA loans, but why not go there so that they can explain to you how it shouldn't be low man on the totem pole. It should be up there. If you see a VA loan offer come through, I don't know why you wouldn't want to take that. But that's me personally. No limit any longer, Patrick says. There are just so many opportunities for you to help a vet out, and you're doing a service to everybody. I don't know. This is my personal thing as a civilian.
Well, let me just insert. If you're a realtor and you're listening, there's also 2 CE credits for it. So
the class that you're doing on July 18th.
Yes.
2 CE credits.
That's right.
That's awesome. And so you come out there, you get your CE credits, and then you actually get to learn about an option that you may not be entertaining.
We'll even throw in lunch for you, Ted.
They'll throw in lunch for you. Hello. I love VAREP. All right, so you've got July 18th, which we will. I did the link when I posted the show, and we'll do it again. You can click on that. You can get more information. What else is coming up? You've got something September 11th. You've got all sorts of things going on.
Let's go to August 1st.
We'll go to August. We'll go to August.
August. I have September.
Okay. August is our
Summit.
housing summit.
Housing
yes.
Summit.
Yeah.
I like it.
So again, we have Daniel White. He's the co-chairman of that event, and basically, VAREP is having another housing event, a housing summit, and that's where we actually talk to the veterans themselves. So normally, VAREP on the local level, we talk to realtors, lenders, title company, home inspectors, anything related with that they touch the transaction. We welcome to come and look and learn and be part of the group. But the housing summits is where we actually speak to the veterans themselves. We normally hold them at like the post on Goldenrod, or we find a nice event to keep it veteran related. And we give out classes that are given and sent through national to educate the veterans on their benefits.
Actually, how the veteran can purchase a home using their VA benefits, how they get their certificate of eligibility, which is what we call the COE, and really the whole process from start to finish to help the veteran actually learn how to purchase a home and keep it.
Actually. So
And what's the date on that? Do you know?
We don't have a date. It's going to be mid-August.
August, guys.
We're looking at the 22nd, tentatively for right now.
Awesome. And there'll be more information on their Facebook page, website.
Sure.
I love that because you're going out to the people. We keep talking about that. You're going out to the consumer, the ones that need it. So you're going out and educating, because again, it's amazing to me. I just got a referral for a VA loan, and this wonderful couple actually the person did not know exactly what their benefit was. They knew they could utilize it. And they had utilized it in the past. That's the other thing I want to put out there. Look, just because you utilize it in the past doesn't mean you used all of it, or that you can't have more. So I want you to not think like that. If you're out there and you're a veteran and you go, I already got a mortgage 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Right.
I want you to rethink that thought process and reach out to me or one of these wonderful real estate professionals, VAREP, because if you're thinking about moving, you're thinking about a new purchase, you're thinking about doing something different, don't think that you've exhausted your VA benefit. Super important for
and
you.
you still can use the leftover.
That's correct. You haven't
A lot of
exhausted
people
all
don't
of
know
it.
that.
What if there's
Yeah.
some left over? So get with somebody. Just because you did it once 5-10 years ago doesn't mean you don't have more money
Absolutely.
in there. All right, so then we have September is coming up.
September is George's event, which we're very. It's a subject we all don't like to talk about, and it's about stop, drop, and push. It's a big thing that VA Rep pushes nationally. Locally, you will hear it. All veterans know what stop, drop, and push, or the 22 means. Basically, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. They feel left alone, or they just can't cope. So that's why I always say, no matter what group you join or want to join to help, if you help one person, that changes the life of that one person.
The
And
22, so think about that. That's an average number. 22 soldiers commit suicide on a daily basis on average. So when you see that number 22 out there, when you see Facebook groups, you see VA Rep promoting 22, stop, drop, and roll, there's 22 push-ups, there's 22 miles in a month, which my friend just lost his son to suicide, and a veteran. And so you're out there, you're trying to figure out how to help. Peter Rippich, who is part of the home team at Freedom Mortgage in Miami and does a lot of stuff nationally with VA Rep, he's always doing 22 push-ups. It doesn't have to be push-ups because you can look at me and know that I'm not doing 22 push-ups. However, I want to promote it. I want to do 22 something. But when you hear that number, I want you to equate that to the 22. That's the 22 soldiers who, on average, commit suicide every single day. And so do something, help out. And so this event is stop, drop, and roll.
No,
Push.
Stop, drop, and push.
Push.
Yeah.
That's right. Stop, drop, and roll is when you're on fire.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm back to elementary school.
Okay, let me just what we're going to be doing on September 11th at Ace Cafe right here in downtown Orlando. We're going to have our Stop, Drop, and Push fundraiser, and we've got a very large goal that we're trying to get. And so we want everybody to come out. It'll be from 5:30 to 9:30 at the Ace Cafe on September 11th. We're going to have some competitions between the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard,
Nice.
and get everybody out there doing their 22 push-ups and raising as much money as we can. Because what we do with that money is what we call VA Rep Cares. That money actually goes to support veterans who have PSTD, have issues where they need to go someplace and decompress. So what we do, the monies that we raise go to the foundation that allows them to go and get the help that they need. So we can pretty much eliminate those 22 people a day.
And just to add, just on a policy conference, VA Rep donated, I forgot how much it was, to service dogs. That was our theme this year for our
Yes.
Washington
Love
policy,
it
was
was.
service dogs.
Yes.
And we donated, anybody, I can't remember.
I don't know what the number was.
It was a
No.
large amount of money to 3 service dogs. So these dogs will get processed and trained and familiar with handling with the veteran, learning their body language. Dogs can sense what someone's going through. So we donated to that cause. So all this money will be raising on September 11th here in downtown Orlando at the Ace Cafe. I told you now, months earlier, we would love every veteran to come out to this. It's a great cause.
Great.
Come do your 22 push-ups. Do I have to wear my drill sergeant hat to tell you to come
Yes,
do them?
apparently he's
I'll
in
do
drill
it.
sergeant mode. Here it comes.
Please come to this event. It's for a great cause.
And we'll share that. We'll share we'll tag and share the information about September 11th. I love the service dog part. I think a lot of people misunderstand why that's important. A lot of times, Joe Thomas says Ernie with big capital letters. A lot of times what happens is that's when they go into PTSD, when they have a moment, when they're having an episode, whatever they call it, the service dog can sense it and immediately can helps them calm down and get grounded. It's a gift. It's a beautiful gift to be able to do that, because that can get them out of the mode. A lot of times PTSD, that's the first step or the last step before they hit the 22. There's so much that goes on, and so a service dog serves this amazing purpose.
Absolutely.
Let me pop in and kind of give everybody an update on the other 3 events that we have for the year.
Bring it.
So we got September. In October is our national convention, which is going to be here in Orlando. The Central Florida Chapter, along with our national, will be donating a mortgage-free home to a needy veteran here in Central Florida. In fact, I was just there earlier today doing the inspection with one of our inspection companies, and we'll be actually looking for candidates probably in the next 30 days that will submit names, be vetted, and then in October, around the 16th or 17th, we'll be actually donating that home free and clear to a needy Central Florida veteran. In November, we have our golf outing, which will be a drive shack down in Lake Nona. And then in December, Ernie's in charge of our gala.
Looking for help?
Yeah.
Drill sergeant back there is crying for help right now.
But that brings up a point. If anybody is out there listening, you can give us a call and you can help volunteer on many of the committees that we've got in order to run these events throughout the year.
Do you have to be a veteran?
No, you do not have to be a veteran, and you do not have to be a veteran to join VAREP. There's a lot of people that what we call patriots that are really involved and really help us run our chapter.
So we're looking to make the end of the year a very strong year for our chapter. We're all charged up because we came and looked at all the other chapters. How many chapters? 36 are out there already, and I think 32 are in the process of being formed now. So when you look at all these other chapters doing this great job, you just come back with all this energy, and we're looking for people to come join VAREP. Again, you don't have to be a veteran. It's someone who loves to give selfless service. And what we do is a board member will chair one of the events, and we'll have volunteers and co-chair people to help us make these events great, to educate realtors and everybody else, lenders and title company and inspectors, but also to make a strong impact. I love the cause that we have this year. We did one for the Fisher House that everybody I think they saw, and our next one is the Stop, Drop, and Push in the Ace Cafe, and we're looking to make our chapter stronger. And again, you don't have to be a veteran. You just have to love to serve, just like all of us do.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what the Fisher House is, the Fisher House is located at the VA Center in Lake Nona, and it's very similar to the Ronald McDonald House. So if you're a veteran and your loved one is having surgery or is at the VA hospital in Lake Nona, you can actually stay at the Fisher House free of charge with 2 meals a day, actually for up to 2 years, I believe.
Wow.
So, and they have transportation from the Fisher House to the hospital back and forth, and it's right on the ground. So Ernie put together a great fundraising campaign for that. We had a really, really good turnout, and that will become an annual event for our chapter here to raise money to help support, because it is a nonprofit.
Right, and that was a huge success too, this last Fisher House project we did. The staff was phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal. The building, they looked at every inch of that building and made use of it for all of the families that will be attending and staying for their loved ones that are in the hospital. So my hat's off to the Fisher House and staff. We've enjoyed you, and we're looking forward to coming to you again.
All right, so before we wrap it up, I want to talk a little bit about the 4th of July. So you know how a lot of times you hear that your pets, your animals, get afraid of or spooked by the fireworks. So believe it or not, those same fireworks can be a trigger for veterans, soldiers who are coming back from battle, who have experienced that. And so there is this whole PTSD, PTS trigger. And so I want you to be really cognizant of that And remember that everything that we're doing, that you're doing, because it's our Independence Day, we're celebrating the birth of America. Remember that you have some veterans out there that are challenged by that. They're challenged by those noises, and I just want us to be super cognizant of that. So you're going to bring your dogs in. I don't want necessarily you to bring your vets in, but perhaps you could be a little bit more conscientious of that, because that once the trigger hits, PTSD is you should Google it. It's a very it hits, and then you're in it, and there's no going back from it until the episode's over. And so you have to be super cognizant of it. If you have friends who are in the military, you are inviting them out, they're at an event, and you see something going on, be really cognizant of it, because when you're in it, it's like any kind of episode, it's like anything, you can't get them out of it until it's over. It's very difficult. So be cognizant and super sensitive to that. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to share all of VAREP's contact information, how you can reach out to George and Ernie and Kevin, how you can get involved. Remember, you don't have to be a veteran to be involved. I'm not even sure you have to be part of real estate to get involved. Do you have a servant's heart? Do you want to get involved? Do you want to help vets out? Absolutely. Get involved. So I will go, I forget who I'm starting with, but I'm going to let you guys take over.
Well, I think what we want to do is that if you're really interested in membership, you can go to varep.net, varep.net, and there's a right on the top right-hand side, it says membership, join. It's $99 a year, and that really helps us support and do the things that we want to do on a national and a local level. If you've got any questions about it, you can email me at George Lester Freeland, glf929@gmail, glf929@gmail, or you can call my cell at 407-408-5167, and we can put you, with the right person to join. So if you've got any questions about how to join VREP, what we do, when our meetings are, what events we got coming up, just reach out.
Ernie, Kevin, any parting words of wisdom?
Oh yeah, we'd like to give just a shout out to Bernie. I believe he's watching. He was our last recipient that received the mortgage-free home. And,
awesome, Bernie.
Bernie.
Yes, sir. This time last year, his blood was running through my veins, and my blood was running through his veins. So, Bernie, God bless you and your family, and we'll be in touch.
Well, let me just interject. For those of you that don't know, Kevin nominated Bernie. We had a mortgage-free home donation. Was not in Central Florida. It was actually in another state. But Bernie was nominated, was vetted, was approved, and actually moved to North Carolina. But it was our chapter that was responsible for him getting a mortgage-free home.
Absolutely. And the icing on the cake on that was that he was already, before meeting all of us, he was already performing these type services. And that was the icing on the cake that helped him get into this home as well.
I love it.
So if you know a veteran that is in need, or a veteran that might be a good candidate to receive this home that we have, that will be given away in October on our VAREP conference, go ahead and send that information to us, and we'll send it to National to see if they qualify, and they'll make contact with them. I just also want to say something. George, you said $99. Is that it? $99?
$99.
Look at you.
I'm saying that.
That was
good. I've joined so many groups where I'm spending $300, even $100 a month, and VAREP is doing this for $99 to be a member. Am I a salesperson? No, I'm a dedicated veteran that says, you want to do something, join the right group, and that's VAREP. Look for Central Florida VAREP Chapter. That's in Facebook, and that's us, okay? We're all over the United States, and we're making changes. I'm Ernie Plaza. Love you.
All right, so you guys, thank you so much. Oh my God, it just fills my
thank
heart
you, Ted.
to have you guys on here and
Absolutely.
talk about this. It's so important for you to get involved. You want to get involved in something local? Get involved with VAREP, $99 for the year. Do you know how much education they provide? And remember, you don't have to be a vet. You don't have to be a real estate professional. You just have to have a heart for veterans. And you want to help veterans out. This is a great way for you guys to get involved. All three of you are a joy. Blessed to know all three of you. Love your service. Thank you for your service. Am I allowed to say that? I get corrected on that a lot.
It's all right.
I'm
good.
so grateful. So reach out, VA Rep. I tagged it in the post. We'll tag it again. We'll share George's and Ernie's and Kevin's contact information. We love you guys. We'll be back. Thank you guys so much for all you do. We'll see you soon. Mwah.
Take care. Thank
Have a
you.
great
All
one.
right.